does acidic oceans the outcome? The three major points of this is burning fossil fuels releases CO2 gas. The ocean absorbs 50% of CO2 gas in the atmosphere. If we don't do anything, the ocean will become even more acidic. CO2 mixes with ocean water, plus produces H ions. When the H ions take CO3 -2 carbonate ions out of the water, and it leaves less for the shellfish. It is damaging all these shells. There are two equations for this lab we were doing. CH4 plus O2 equals CO2 plus H2O. CO2 plus H2O is equal to H2CO3, which is the carbonic acid. The physical equilibrium between the atmosphere CO2 and the dissolved CO2 is that if there is more CO2 in the air, then there will be a lot more CO2 in the water, which will make the water more acidic too. But if there is less CO2 in the air, then there will be less acidic acids in the water. H2CO3 in the ocean is the carbonic acid, and it's a weak acid, but when it's put in the water, it becomes stronger and it makes the ocean more acidic, and it's hurting the food chain. Henry's law, having to do with the numerical constant associated with the equilibrium between the CO2 in the atmosphere and dissolved in the ocean. Well, between them, in the Henry's law is that when you put them together, the more you have in the air is going to be having a proportion of what's going to be in the ocean, which is going to be dissolved into CO2, which will become acidic of H2CO3. As you can see, these are volcanic vents in the ocean floor. It has this white smoke, and it is acidic water. As you can see, these oysters are more affected by the acidic ocean now, and they are not doing too well. These are bleached coral from the acid water in the ocean that we are putting. This is what it looks like when it's acidic. The beaches, what could happen to it, where we put the shell inside the seawater and we dilute it with some acid. And now we're seeing what happens throughout the day. This is the final product we got out of it. This keep happening to these things in the sea. So you can start using less fuel in the air by carpooling, and by that there's so many signs up, and you can help people by going to the same place as you. You can pick up trash anywhere you go, you see anything, maybe in the ocean too. Here are graphs. In this graph you see, this is about our CO2 experiment with breathing inside. The pH is on the y-axis, the time is on the x-axis. And what we have there is the times of what the pH is after we blow every 10 seconds. And we just write them down, and that is my scatter plot for you. Over here is when we put the same experiment things, but instead we're burning it with a candle inside. We lit it, and then we checked to see what the pH was every 5 intervals of seconds. This third graph, we didn't have much data, but for the 2 days we did it, the first day we had a pH of 7.81, and then we had to blow for 2 minutes and we got 6.37 as the pH. And the second day we got 7.34 as the pH, and then we blew again for 2 minutes and we got 6.63 pH. So in the beginning, this used to be 3.44 grams, and this is our coral. But then the final mass of our product was 3.5 grams. My opinion is that these animals you see right now that are coming up shows that if we don't have them, our oceans will not become attractive to everyone, even with the acid inside of it, because they will all die out and there will be nothing else to see in the ocean. So we need to help these poor animals by putting less fossil fuel in the air and to do whatever we can to help them.